Hello, my name is David Buck, and I'm here to present Look Under the Hood Before You Buy. I'm going to provide a technology assessment guide for evaluating and selecting your PLM solution. So a little bit about my background. I've spent a 25-year career in information technology. Most recently, I've been the CTO of Zweave. Zweave is a solutions provider in the PLM marketplace. Over the last 10 years, I've had the opportunity to deliver 9 consulting projects to the United States government and evaluate every PLM solution in the marketplace. I've also had the privilege of building a next-generation PLM solution for my government customer. Prior to Zweave, I've been very involved in technology, had an internet consulting firm, which I grew very quickly throughout the 90s and sold to a public company. I worked for Steve Jobs before that. I've worked in management consulting at companies like Deloitte, and I've worked for companies like IBM. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. We're basically be talking about an overall selection guide. So trying to answer some of the key questions that you should be asking when you're talking about the technology portion of a PLM evaluation. So answering some key questions. How does technology affect my PLM choice? How will it affect my implementation schedule? How will it affect my total cost of ownership? And this presentation is both for technical people as well as non-technical people. I'll try to keep it light and so that business managers can also understand the impact of technology and what that has on PLM solutions. So here's the outline. First I'll start with what is PLM for the retail consumer products marketplace. What's the vendor landscape? So who are the major players? I understand there's at least 20 players today, and I certainly am not an authority on every player and how they all fit, but I have a few highlights here and there on where where the other players fit. So a little bit about the landscape. We'll talk about some of the high-level selection considerations. Overall, when you're evaluating PLM, what are all the major categories? And then we're going to do a deep dive into the selection criteria related to technology and architecture. And I'm going to preface that with a little bit of technology overview. So what's been going on with technology in the last 20 years? And how does that affect the PLM landscape? And then finally, I'm going to evaluate just some of the comparisons of how these different technology architects affect a PLM project, and then I'll sum up with some best practices. All right, let's begin. So this slide is really all about PLM and where PLM fits. PLM is in the beginning of the functionality life cycle. After you've making some merchandise buying decisions, it's going from those merchandise buying decisions through creative design, technical design, sourcing, collaboration with the vendors, all of the key business processes that every organization has to do, but frequently are doing today in spreadsheets and email with manual processes, or doing it with PDM or a configuration management system, or trying to solve it with Lotus Notes or SharePoint. So PLM is in that front end of that business process, and then it transitions to ERP and supply chain and passes data on to some of these more execution systems. So that's an overview of PLM. This is an overview of PLM, the landscape of the different players in the PLM marketplace. So, some of the key players in the lower right-hand corner, there are players that have been in the PLM industry or been in the retail footwear apparel industry for a number of years. So the Gerbers and the Electras and companies that have been providing PDM solutions in the industry for many years, and product development solutions of various kinds. And then there's various folks that have been in the ERP marketplace that are trying to extend back into the PLM marketplace, go from the back end of the business process to the front end. On the lower left corner are the